how much should companies, if at all, focus on the external, focus on the competition? Because so many companies who have a ton of leverage get passed by these, little upstarts. So how much should a company look at the external, and how should that affect how they optimize their B state internally?
Yeah, well, it's critical actually. It's the first step. So we don't create a B state picture of success based on what we want it to be.
Okay.
That's not where it comes from. It doesn't come from an inspired leader. It doesn't come from, somebody who's got a vision. It actually comes from our external drivers. Because the one thing that external drivers, whether that's competition, whether that's customer trends, technology, government regulatory standards changing, economy changing, the one thing that all external drivers have in common is that your company doesn't control them. So they control you. You have to respond to them. If you don't respond to them, you go out of business. Maybe not immediately, but over time. So if you don't respond, it's going to have an impact on your market share. So you've got to be always in the game of responding to those external drivers. And it's based on those external drivers that you create a picture of success to say, okay, based on our core competencies and our core values and how we see both the abilities that we already have and those that we can acquire, what is our B state in terms of responding to that? What's the business model we want to have? What's the niche that we want to project in the future to say, hey, we need to move in that direction? And in a way, because external drivers are non-negotiable, moving to B state is actually non-negotiable. It's like if you don't move, we can guarantee you A state is going to go out of business just by the definition that it's not responding to those external drivers. Now, we may not have the perfect B state, we can adjust that, but we've got to at least move.
Okay.
Then it's about who do we need to be in that game. Just again, going back to, is it a professional game? Is it a college game? Is it a baseball? Is it basketball? All those things are different, therefore I have to practice differently, I have to develop different muscles, I have to develop different kinds of communication. We have to show up differently if we want to play that game and do it well.
Okay.
So then the question is, how do we get our people from A state in mindset, behavior to B state?
Okay.
And who's going to do that? Well, your senior management team is going to define the strategy. Your middle managers are the ones who have to be the change agents.